I'm Jaden Jefferson, and welcome to Community Focus on this Sunday. It was just announced on Friday that Washington local schools would be reinstating its mask mandate for students beginning Monday. So joining me now is Superintendent Kadee Anstadt to discuss this and what students can expect. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. So what can students expect when they return to the classroom on Monday?
So honestly, it's a little bit like deja vu all over again, right? So we had a little over 1 week without masks. And one of the things that we did, Jaden, when we decided to try the governor's idea was to set a threshold. Just in case our cases rose suddenly, we wanted to be able to say that in a certain building or overall at the district, if we saw our cases rising, that we would go back to masks. And on Friday, we hit that threshold, and we usually pick up a few more cases over the weekend. We go Monday to Sunday to measure our cases. So I think that's the reason we hit our threshold. And so it was, obviously we already had some data in place, so we knew we had to go back.
With regard to vaccinations, how is the district doing on that front?
I think we're getting a little better all the time. I'm starting to hear really great celebrations about entire teams. I'm thinking of some wonderful incentives for those teams as they come together and do that. Kids want to play. They want to be in the play. They want to run, they want to play basketball. They want to do all the winter sports. So honestly, once we get back inside, we know this is going to be a little tougher battle. So we really want to get through our seasons. We're looking forward to a really big student crowds at our games this year. So I think, all of us are doing our part. So we're getting a little better every day. Our staff is up over 75% vaccinated.
We've seen this trend all over the country of those school board meetings where parents have expressed concerns about vaccines and masks. Has Washington local schools had to deal with that issue at this point in time?
We have. I wouldn't say to the extent or the extremes that we've seen across the country. I'm really proud of this community. We've spoken to each other civilly. We've come together as a community and know that we need to support our kids. What keeps our kids in school is to keep them healthy. And that's all of our goal. We just want kids to be able to come to school every day. And our community, whether they are vaccinated or unvaccinated, whether they believe in masks or don't believe in masks, have not lost sight of the fact that we really are all here for the same thing, which is to keep our kids and our staff healthy. And so we haven't seen some of the uprising that we've seen in other places. And I'm so grateful and very, very proud of my community. Very proud.
When we're on the topic of staffing, how is the district doing with staffing? Because I spoke to you a few weeks ago about the staffing shortages that a lot of schools in the area and across the country have been experiencing. So do we have an update on that?
So I think it's always challenging. I think, honestly, speaking to you and getting the word out there a little bit, we have picked up a few more subs. The governor, the legislature is kind of helping us out there by reducing the requirements for substitute teachers again this year, which will help us staff our classrooms when we do have an outbreak or when someone is sick or ill or needs to take time off. So we're doing a little bit better. Bus drivers, bus drivers, bus drivers. I really need bus drivers. So I think that'll be my song forever. So, yep.
When the school year started in August, of course, there were a lot of concerns about going back to school with COVID and, of course, with those staffing shortages. So looking at it in a general sense, how do you think Washington local schools is doing right now?
I think we're doing great, honestly. I think, this feels like a setback to some people. And I wish we could have continued to go. There's nothing I love more than to see our kids' entire face. But the most important thing to me is that their families see their entire face at Thanksgiving and at Christmas. And the way to do that is to take a step back right now and get healthy again and make sure that we're not spreading the virus at school. But, day to day, our kids are doing great. We had a great football season. It ended last night. But honestly, overall, all of our sports really had great seasons. We just finished our fall play, which was a raging success. I think our kids, this is kind of the new normal. They haven't had much of a normal high school year or high school career, a lot of them. But you know what? We're adjusting. And, Washington Local is a place where you're going to have a great experience. And I think our kids are having great experiences.
Before the school year started, it was all about getting students caught up on all of the things that they've missed during 2020, that pandemic year. And would you say that students are on the right track to catching up and relearning a lot of that material?
I will. I think everybody just had to get back in and hit their stride, right? It's kind of like when you've taken a few months off of anything, you come back, you're a little rusty. But once we had them back in the building and meeting with their teachers, we're back in stride again. And, certainly along the way, we're going to find in any year, you find places where there are gaps that exist, but we're jumping right in, filling those in. And, I think there's new learning that went on too. There's things that we could have never taught in that year that our kids learned to do. So, we're not grateful for the pandemic, but I think we've worked alongside everything, the tools. Our teachers have done an incredible job. Our support staff keeping everything clean, and fresh, hot lunches are out again. I think all of those things are making this feel as normal as it possibly can.
What have been some positive moments during the school year so far? We often talk about all the negative things, the things that have gone wrong, but what have been some moments throughout the school year so far that have just made you smile or really uplifted you?
That I think that actually you probably just heard her shake off in the background that we have Granger, our new service dog, or our new therapy dog, through the Ability Center. And that, there have been many moments this year that she has shared with me. One of those was the candlelight walk a few weeks ago, where our community, our elementary kids all come together in the stadium and they cheer for their own elementary school, and our football team and cheerleaders are there. And, we come together and pledge as a community to keep our kids and ourselves safe. That was a surreal moment for me because we didn't have it last year. And then the year before was my first year at Washington Local, and it was such an amazing community event. I think those events where we've been able to come back together as a community have been the ones that are really sticking with me right now. The play, the football game, the candlelight walk, just the things, the pumpkin runs, all the kinds of things that are happening again. They look a little different, but those are the moments that are really heartwarming to see our kids smiling. Anytime we've got kids smiling, that's a good day for me.
Kadee Anstadt, Superintendent of Washington Local Schools, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jaden. It's always good to see you.